I decided that today I would get on here to come a little live because it's been one of those times where we've just kind of had things a little hectic this week. Because I do want to say, first of all, that for the school district that I work in, it has been one of those weeks where Monday we were supposed to go back and kind of work as a staff, and we were supposed to have the students come back to school on Tuesday. And of course, yes, there is work for us who work in the cafeteria to do on a day when there are no students. And so it just kind of varies, differs from one to the next to each of us. And I say, as far as how this day is concerned, we've kind of got it in, kind of got it taken care of best we can. But this week, we've just had really bad snow and ice all week here in Kentucky and in Fayette County, the part that I'm in. And it just so happened that recently I did a live on Instagram where that I was kind of doing from inside my car as I was kind of letting it warm up just to kind of melt off a lot of the ice and snow that was on there. And I was kind of, beating the ice with the windshield scraper and things and kind of getting it all loose. Had to brush off a layer of snow and then break a layer of ice and then brush off a layer of snow under that for what we had. Had to take care of that before more ice and snow would come. And like they've been saying, it's like we've got snow today. They're talking like more snow this weekend. We don't know how it's going to do, but that is the reason why, like today being Friday as I speak, yesterday was Thursday, and we went back to work yesterday, just us staff, just to kind of clean up the cafeteria and to get it ready. It's very likely that teachers might have had to go back early just to get a little more ready for NTI. So, we don't know how that's going to go this year. I mean, it's like if you haven't kept up with the news, it probably doesn't concern you. And, and especially the news in my area, because, I just don't know how much I'm allowed to say on YouTube or social media or anything. So, we kind of have to keep it to a minimum. But it turns out that these last days, we've just had them all as snow days. And yesterday was a makeup day for what we missed on Monday. And these last four snow days are going to be made up at the end of the school year. We don't know in what way. We don't know how. So there's just a lot of it. We're going to have to wait and see when the time comes, just how it's going to work out. I do want to share a few things with you all that I want to mention. For one, that I probably have it in here somewhere. And as a matter of fact, I do. I created this new pattern for a cardinal carving. And most of you all know I did get my carving tools and all back, but some of my books are still no telling where, along with my bird patterns that are in them, including my cardinal patterns. So we don't know how that's going to work. So they're my most popular sellers. So I wanted to make more, but I couldn't because the pattern wasn't anywhere to be found. So I made a new little pattern of my own to make a much tinier one from. And I have kind of cut out blanks for those and I've carved them out here. I've traced a couple onto some blood wood and have carved them out and given them these little faces and all, just to kind of, I say, make them what they are. And there's just more work to come along as we work a little more. I also cut a couple of blanks out of cherry for these cardinals and drew the lines into them as to where they're going to go. And I do want to get back around to recording some carving videos soon. I don't know when they'll be posted if I do get around to recording them soon, but do also just kind of want to say that even in addition to going back to work for one day yesterday, and with the way my schedule has been during the daytime, I've also been trying to get my chances to watch the replays on YouTube for the Jimmy Carter memorial services, because I'm always interested in watching these services for presidents when they happen. And it kind of also just so happened that they had like three different services, three funerals, one graveside, and I've also just kind of watched them escort the casket in and out places. So I mean, I just kind of wanted to see it all, and I just kind of had schedules in the daytime that wouldn't allow me to get around to all of it. So it just kind of happened that I just decided to kind of watch the replays at night. And since there were two services yesterday, I watched the replay of the first one yesterday. It was during the day, so I watched it at night. And since I was home today, I watched the third service. I mean, earlier this week, I watched the one from last Saturday, but and it just so happened after that I watched the taps and the cannon salute and all that they kind of did at the graveside, so saw that. And I just would like to say that I enjoyed all the old hymns that were played. I do also kind of want to mention that I guess I'd say that growing up with those old hymns, I just kind of enjoy them so much and hearing them, and the fact they don't really play them as much anymore these days as they used to. And I say that it was just great getting to see the services, and kind of glad that I got that taken care of. That's kind of why I just kind of did a little less carving the last couple of days. And because I kind of do it in the shop now, and I'd probably take a tablet in there to watch them on if I kind of did anything. But it just kind of happened that I sort of just wanted to kind of do that a little separately, give my hands a little rest after carving these Bloodwood Cardinals. I'll mention to you that with that same cardinal pattern, I kind of took a little white out in pencil and did a little redrawing to make this little blue jay pattern. That is another one of those things that we are going to have. And when we kind of get around to making them sooner or later, that was just a nice little bird there. And I'll tell y'all that, like I said, I kind of have all my bird patterns missing somewhere right now. And so they're probably going to show up sooner or later. But what might make these smaller ones a little bit better might be the fact that they are a little bit more my own idea. That might make it so we can appreciate them a little more, maybe. I'm kind of looking into that. And for those of you who tuned in, just want to say that I appreciate you all so much. And I'm also kind of debating just how we're going to do things when we get around to making the videos. I have already kind of created a new intro and a new outro, which is in this very bedroom here, where you kind of hear me talk in the background and where I'm kind of wearing all this, and where I've also just kind of decided to give it kind of like an animated comic type of appeal to the picture. So just to make it kind of unique. We don't know exactly how all the video recording is going to come out once we get around to doing it, but I'll just find really nice ways to make the videos unique and all that I do. And I just also would like to say that, it's been really hard for me to get out much except to go to work, but I have kind of gotten on here. I've gotten on these social media networks and have interacted with my friends a little bit. That kind of did me some help. It did me some good. I will tell you, if you ever get to go to my Facebook or Instagram or Threads accounts, you will probably also notice that there is a young lady out in Los Angeles. I mean, if you've been keeping up with the news, you know what's been going on in Los Angeles, but she's a victim of that. And there's probably more to her story than there is of a lot of people's whose I know. And if you ever get a chance to see some of my other accounts, you will know who I am talking about when I ask you all to pray for her, maybe even reach out and give her some financial support, because she is another one of those artists. And like I said, and like I say in all my other posts and videos, I will say on here too, I will not speak for her. I will let her speak for herself. And she does speak for herself on a lot of her own accounts. And if you ever go to my account, you can see some of her posts. You will see her tagged in some of my posts so that you can go to her page and reach out to her. And that way, you will kind of see on her own accounts that, like I said, she speaks for herself, and you all can just help out in whatever way you know best. I will appreciate those of you who do. And, it's just been a time when there's probably been enough losses happening in this world. And just kind of want to say that I've appreciated all of my own friends out here who have kind of done all they've done in all their stories and stuff just to try to reach out to some people. And there's even people I reach out and try to get support for in this world, just to kind of show you all a little of what everybody could use a little needed help with. And it's just going to be one of those times when I'm just getting back around to doing some things I've done before, getting back to going to Woodcarvers Guild, getting back to going to church when I can, trying to do all those things just to make out the new year and make it a little better. So it's been really a busy time for me just to try to catch things up. And I will also just say that the Lord knows best. He has his own good time for everything. I would like to have better weather conditions so that I could go back to work and maybe have the students at the school back in school so that we can go back to work and have the roads and everything be safe for it all again, and have safe temperatures and everything so that we can kind of reach out to many more and actually be able to have our schools open for the better. And for those of you who come on here, I want to say that I thank you all so much for getting on here, reaching out. And anytime you get a chance, you're always welcome to join into the chat. You're always welcome to join any of my lives. And I'd say, for one thing, that I probably get on here and talk for a long time just to kind of tell you all what I want and what I need. But this is just a time when I will just kind of appreciate that you all kind of keep the state of Kentucky in your prayers and keep people around my um, area, neck of the woods in your prayers, and that we might all be able to survive in this time, because this is a time when we sort of have some trees falling and things and accidents on the road. So thank you all for coming on. And always, I say, wish you all the best.